All right, all right, all right. Now let's see what happens here. Welcome in. We're here for some motivation. Boy, that does not fit. Let me go back out. You back out just a little bit. There we go. Some motivation. So welcome in. I see some people. I'm so excited. Now, here's the tragic part. My windows are all open and doing crazy stuff. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to go in through this way. All right, this is great. Well, welcome in. I saw Life with Shisharia. Welcome. I saw Samoan Watchman, and I can't remember who the other person was. So I'm going to go in. Hang on. Got to do it this way. This is crazy, isn't it? Yes, too many windows open. So welcome in. It's Motivation Monday, and I was just thinking, and this is where we go, and this is going to be a little bit weirder. So I'm talking about where does your motivation come from? At least we'll start there. And then we'll go, let's see what happens. Hold on, view my channel. Yeah, we're going to say, so I was thinking, where does your motivation come from? Like we're at the end of the year. I'm always thinking about what's next. You know what I mean? Like, we're at a portal, I would say. And so I'm talking about, oh, sorry. Let me turn my volume. There we go. Okay, so Suzanne's here and 4T's here. Hey, long time no see. Good to see you. And Sonia's here. Nice. Okay, and Shatika's here. Nice. Thank you so much. I want to make sure I get everybody. Let me start again. So Samoan Watchman, you're number one. Sonia's Creation, you're number two. Life of Tisharia, you're number three. Shatika's number four. Shatika Woods. Suzanne is here, number five, and 4T is number six. Yay! Well, thank you so much. Okay. All right, we did it. So here's the deal. We're at the end of the year. We always want to start the week off on a positive note. That is the plan of the I Bring It Every Day channel. And I'm trying to do a little bit of motivation, hoping that everybody can get a little bit of movement for the rest of the week, some positivity. So that's why we're here. So here's the deal. I was thinking there's two quotes that I was thinking about, and I'm going to just hit you real fast. So this may not fit in here, but Albert Einstein said, imagination is everything. So all your good ideas, you have to let your mind flow and figure out. You got to give yourself like some peace and quiet, in my opinion. And you got to let those you got to let your mind kind of free it up, quiet all the outside noise, and you got to let everything sort of go, and then just let your mind imagine where you want to be. And so everything is, and they're saying that imagination is everything, and that's what Albert Einstein said. Now, you can let me know what you think of that, and in the comments or the chat, and then we're good. So let's see. Uh-oh. Here we go. So there it is. Yes, you're motivated already. No, that's really good. And so here's the thing. So I was thinking, in terms of just regular motivation, where do you get yours from? I mean, and that's kind of the question that I'm sort of asking everybody to think about. Because, and I'll just give you just my little story here. So for me, I hate to say that I was always alone, but in my life I was always alone, even though I had people around me. And what I mean by alone is, like, I don't know if I necessarily had somebody who was constantly, like, I would say I won't say cheerleading, but the only example that I can think of is cheerleading. People who have your back, who kind of say, "Hey, you're doing great things," or maybe you're not doing great things, and maybe they can give you suggestions like mentorship and things like that. I don't think I've ever really had that. And I was thinking about it. And so the whole thing is you got to figure out what is going to get you motivated, whether it's other people. Like I said, I use these positive quotes because most of the people that I kind of look at have been relatively successful in their careers. Now, were they successful in their family lives? That's a whole nother story, because I think there's more to life than just your career. But so the example that I'm giving here, Einstein, he's saying imagination is everything, and that is true. But he had a great career life, but he had a terrible home life. And if you do your research on him, he was one of those people, and I'm not trying to slander, but he was not faithful to his wife, and there was like a whole thing with that. And so it's kind of brutal. So you have to. So I'm not saying like you hold these people up as gods and worship them, But I'm just saying that, career wise, these people seem to have it going on. And anyway, so that's the example that I just want to give there. Yeah. And there's a controversial cruising. Welcome in. So anyway, so I've always had to sort of self motivate. And it's interesting because I remember my first real job that I ever had out of school. The people that I were with were very, very nurturing. And that's the last time I had mentoring, which I hate to say how many years ago that's been, but it's been a long time. And they were one of the few people that actually said, "Dude, we're going to help you. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have you meet all these people. We're going to take care of you." And they did. And it was awesome. But I never got that. So I had that for about 3.5 years, 4 years, and they were cool. And like I said, they taught me everything. They were my cheerleader. They helped me. You know what I mean? They stood by me when maybe things didn't go as well. Things like that. So that's really what I'm talking about. Where does your motivation come from? And hopefully you have some support around you. But I'm telling you, it's a lot easier psychologically if you have people around that support you, right? So that's all I'm going to say about that. But but the thing is, Einstein's kind of saying like this is kind of motivation within. You have to decide where you want to go, and then you have to sort of work it out. You know what I mean? How are you going to get there? Now that's always the hard part. You can always dream. See, the whole thing is like you can motivate yourself, but you have to take the action steps to get there. And that's really, and we talk about this all the time. It's nothing new, but it's just kind of a reminder of where you need to be. And like I said, the end of the year is kind of a portal. And which I don't know if I should use that word, but it is kind of the end of a time. And so you have to figure out like how you're going to get there. You know what I mean? But you do have to have this imagination. And I think that a lot of social media doesn't allow you to do that. See, I'm trying to use social media as my creative outlet, but I noticed that a lot of people really aren't very creative, or they borrow, steal, or whatever, other people's stuff. And I'll tell you, I saw this video. This is crazy. And this is like off the topic, but I saw this video the other day, and this person was cooking an item that I love, but I've never made it because it's one of those Southern things. I'm not really Southern, obviously. So I I saw this video. I can't remember who did it first, but it was a guy and a girl, right? She goes, "This is how you make this thing." And he literally copied. I don't know if she copied him or he copied her, but frame for frame on their video, it was on Instagram, I want to say. It was frame for frame copied. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know who was first." You know what I mean? But I remember going, "Oh, that is horrible." And they literally copied every frame by frame for this item. Even used the same uh what's it called? Like appliance. It's an appliance that most people don't have. And I was like, okay, so this guy somebody saw each other's video. Anyway, it was weird. But I said, these people have no imagination if they have to copy frame by frame. That was crazy. And that blew my mind. I never saw that before. But anywho, but there's that. So yeah, you got to pull all this stuff out. So hashtag VOM. Hey, the voice it matters. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And you're saying, yes, I appreciate it. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. You really have to, it's so important. Like you have to figure out where your motivation comes from. You know what I mean? And hashtag VOM is doing that workout, Life with Tisharia. She's been doing that workout for years now, every day at the same time. It's like discipline. So let's talk about discipline, because now that was my next thing here. Now I'm gonna have to write this smaller. So here we go. Yeah, this is too small. Thought I could fit it in here. But that's Einstein. So imagination is everything. But he said that let me get another pen here. So there's actually, discipline. Let's do this. I'm just going to put this in here. Discipline. Did I spell that right? I think I did. All right. So here's discipline. So here's the deal. You have to have discipline when you're doing whatever it is in life, once you decide. And so so one of the things that this was an unknown person, and they said, you have to either experience the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And that's a lot of things that a lot of people say. They go, "Oh, I want to do this." Like, once again, it's about the dream. You can dream, 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 but you have to do the action steps. And and you don't see the growth unless you do the steps. You have to do the work. So that's really what it is. So I'd like to ask you to think about, are you willing to put through, or are you willing to deal with the pain of discipline, or are you going to deal with the pain of regret? And this was an unknown person. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. So there it is. So those are the two things that kind of came to my mind today. And so I want to see what the chat is saying. Let me see if I can pull you up here. Okay. So Laura's Block Ministries here. And I feel that everyone is creative, but just don't use it. Yes. And the thing about it is a hashtag VOM. Yeah, that's so true. The voicing matters. Yeah, I think that is so sad because a lot of people, they're capable of so many things. But I think, in this life, and I'm gonna switch over here if this will let me do it. I think in life, a lot of people, let me see, how do I look? Do I look crazy? No, I don't. Yay! I think a lot of people want to take the shortcut. Yeah, and that's what it is. So if you see somebody being successful doing that thing, they figure they can do it themselves, but you can't because it's not going to. It may or may not work. I don't know. I mean, but the thing is, you got to recall that everybody has different gifts, and you have different followers, and what I do may not work for you, and what you do may not work for me. You know what I mean? So, but when I saw that guy, like, frame for frame, or that woman, I don't know who did it first, but when I saw frame for frame, you know, it was like a Xerox machine. Remember those back in the day? That was really crazy. And I just went, "Oh wow, that was terrible." And I don't read, and like I said, I didn't do I didn't go back and like look and say, okay, um, like who's on first, who's on second. But it made me, like, it just shocked me because I said, "Dang it, they could have both done the same thing, but differently." But the thing is, it was so frame for frame. It's crazy, and I was just shocked. But anyway, we got Susan Vincent. Welcome in. And okay. Oh, the voice of matter said, yes, I used to go to the gym, but the doctor removed me due to health. Community pneumonia. Oh yeah. Oh, I will tell you, like, I was always squeamish about the gym. And I understand that like, sometimes you do have to leave the house, because I noticed that, like, how it is when you're at home. There's all these things calling you to do, because there's always something to do at home. You gotta, you know, do some laundry, wash the dishes, whatever it is. And so a lot of times that working out really kills the oh, happy Hanukkah. Nice. Buana Beast. Okay, good to see you. And there's Renee. Okay. Oh boy, no, let's see what Renee's gonna say. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, but like I said, I just was really surprised by that. I didn't see. I'm really new to social media. I've only been on here 3 years, and I was watching people before I was doing things. So I'm still a little surprised by the situations that I run into. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's see what Renee said. Renee Unraveled, grew up with farmers. Opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. All right, now, yeah, I think that's it for sure. And because it's funny, you just never know if your idea is going to be the one that takes off. You know what I'm saying? But I think you cheat yourself when you cheat. Yeah. And Susan said, "Oh, I heard this quote the other day. Sadly, I cannot remember the source to give credit. Distractions are the enemy of success. That's for sure." And the other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, and I didn't really mention it in the title, was well, once again, I just think it's like you want to be around people who are positive, or at least, like I said, a nurturing environment. I think that's really important, because that really that really helps. Uh-oh, what's Sonia looking at? Uh-oh, I'm afraid to see. Oh, what did I say? Oh, yeah, work. Let me see. So why the emoji, Sonia, if you don't mind typing? I'm just curious. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think it's really interesting that everybody has gifts, you know what I mean? And so you can work those gifts and do the best that you can. But I think a lot of people are too lazy or too, I don't know why they're afraid to try it. Or you surround yourself with positive people. Yes, yes. And I think that's the deal. I mean, we've got to do it because, like I said, people, I hear all these people on YouTube. They're all like, it's pretty interesting. I don't know like what their backgrounds are, but people always talk about these energy vampires. And really what that means is people who are negative. So it's sort of like, you remember that Flintstones, that guy Schleprock, he always had a cloud over his head and it was raining. And he would always go, "Wowsy, wowsy, woo woo." And I thought that was the funniest thing. But then I thought about it. I said, "No, that's not funny. That's actually real." I mean, like I never see, I was too young at the time to really understand what that meant. But yeah, you know what I mean? So that's one of those things, like, so there's always one person, that's kind of like that. They come in, and then the temperature goes down in the room. Like it just like the energy goes down, the temperature goes down, etc. So that's where we don't want to be. Yep. Oh, Sonia said, I need to find my motivation to get back to work on my YouTube channel. Got a little bit discouraged. Yeah. So everybody says, now I don't know. My YouTube channel has grown kind of due to like the grind. I call it the grind. I mean, there's other people that they just they pop on and they blow up right away. So it's weird, so you have to find your way. And now, do I have the answers to that? No. But you got to, I think you really have to do kind of what you like to do and figure out a way to do it. And interesting. So here's the thing that I will say, and this is some free advice or whatever you want to say. Um, the attention span of most people is pretty short. So I don't think, not saying that you have to do shorts all the time, but I think that you're better off doing shorter kind of things. You know, like I said, back in the day, like all my YouTube people that I used to follow from the very beginning, like back in, like I said, I joined YouTube. I didn't know I joined in 2011, but I don't think I really watched YouTube till about 2013, 14, 12, 13, 14, maybe a year and a half, couple years later. And I was watching a lot of different people. Now I was watching, crochet channels, obviously, but I was watching like a lot of I was watching some religious, not a ton, but I was watching some religious channels. And I was watching some of the like the people that were just like teaching things. So there was a math lady I was watching, there were just all these different things. But the bottom line was, back in the day, you could make 30-minute long videos, hour long videos, and people would watch them. But the bottom line is, now that's not the case. And yeah, so you have to sort of go somewhere between 2 to 10 minutes, I think, is kind of the sweet spot. And I stay on this a little bit longer than I probably should. But, you know, that's kind of where you need to be, I think. And this is just, some free, I bring it every day advice. Yep. And let's see. Yeah, let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yes. Positive people remain focused. That's what Susan Vincent's saying. Yep. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, but the thing is, now let me just back this up too. I've heard people say that there's toxic positivity, where you have to be positive all the time. Now, I am not that way. I mean, I'm to be honest, but I will say that I think, so for me, this is the way I think about this. The internet is forever. And when you act up and do stupid stuff on the internet, it's brutal. Like I mean, that's there forever. And ironically, I was talking to I talked to some, high school students that are, trying to get into college and stuff. And they're like, "Well, why are people looking at my social media?" And I said, "Well, here's the thing. You can be a fool on social media, but remember, jobs and colleges are looking at the stupid crap you're doing. So you got to make sure that you use your head and not do anything completely unhinged." You know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit of advice for anybody out there listening. Sonia said, "Yes, they don't have to be negative, but they always complain about something and they suck everything out of you." Yeah, jealousy. Yeah, it's brutal. And so that's, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have an answer to that, and I've been pondering talking about that, but I may soon. We'll see. Let's see. Renee said anyone can be your mentor whether they want to or not. That's right. Watch what successful people do and why you admire 'em. Yeah, and that's something that I always did even as a kid. I always kind of said, "What are these people doing that I'm not doing or whatever?" Like but I noticed that for sure there were a lot of people that have gifts and so you really have to realize that they do have gifts. You know what I'm saying? So you can't necessarily jump in and take somebody's gift. You know what I'm saying? Like either you have it or like let's say singing, things like that. Just random people can't sing. It doesn't work like that. Like you need the talent, and that's the whole thing that's very tricky. But anyway, I just wanted to make a mention of that. But that's a big thing, yeah. And okay, the voice that matters says I just go with the flow and be myself. Yeah, and I think that's easiest, to be honest. It really is. And yep, and then the voice that matters says at least 10 minutes. Yeah, I think 10 minutes is probably the max, you know. And let me tell you, I've made 1 minute long videos and people have watched 10 seconds, 20 10, 15 seconds. But I noticed that no matter how long I make the video, I think people just turn it on and go, okay, click, and then they turn it off. And that's the tragic part. And I had this conversation with Jane Bila, the dog, right? And she was saying, and she made a really interesting point. She said, "Listen, I really wish people would just not watch it or watch it, but like don't do the click, 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 click." And I said, "Yeah, I know because even though, like I said, I think for me, I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter." Because the bottom line is, watch time is everything, right? On YouTube and all these other, platforms. And that's how you get paid. But, you get a view, and a view does translate into a little bit of watch time. I don't know. So but it's weird, but I understand her logic with that. She's just saying, hey, I don't she's saying, I don't want to beg you to watch me. I just want you to watch it if you're interested. But if you're not interested, don't bother. Like you're better off just getting zero watch time. And in a way, I kind of feel that because if you look at the channels that get a lot of watch time, people are interested and they're parked. And so there's that. Yeah. Yep. 10 minutes. Yeah, that's what voice and manager is saying. So true and right. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, the voice. Yeah, the voice. Yep. That's the crazy thing. So, like I said, either you can or you can't, either you can draw or you can't, either you can knit or you can't, not saying that you can't knit or you can't crochet, but can you crochet well? I mean, like it's all these things because really want to see. I thought, well, so anyway, my idea of YouTube was you want to see what people do and you want to learn something. Like that's kind of in my mind, that was what YouTube was about. And and live streams sort of changed that a little bit because it became social, which I think is okay. I mean, it really was social. Like this is social media, but it's like really social when you live stream, so you can sort of get some live feedback. So for me, I enjoyed the live feedback because it does sort of help me kind of get my mind flowing too. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Oh, we got Dark Architect. Hello, sup, Kel? I can draw, can't knit for shit. I understand. And we got DOI Creations. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things. Like so we all have different gifts. So I really think you have to not milk them, but you know what I mean. You have to sort of realize what you can and cannot do, and then uh, you throw some creativity in there. And I think it's it's pretty awesome. And I'm just trying to think of somebody who's really like so my husband likes the construction channels, where people build stuff, and there's a lady who, what did she well, there's somebody who bought, like, an abbey in England, and they're renovating it, they're blowing it up. There's another person that bought another I think it's the same thing, like a big church compound in Portugal, and they're tearing that up and building it, and that's really cool, you know what I mean? Like, that kinda stuff, for me, that's what turns me on about YouTube. When you see people kinda doing stuff like that, like real big projects. So those last long, but guess what? Those people have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And when they put a video out, man, that video gets 40,000 views in under an hour, which is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I love that kind of stuff. See, that's like those are like real YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Renee saying, I'm on the quest of skill with my knitting. I love it. I want to be the best I can manage. It's hard work. Yes. Now the question is, now what are you going to do with these skills? I'm just being nosy. Just be asking for a friend, being nosy. Yes. And Suzanne is saying, transformation videos are great in my opinion. Right. I think so too. And there's Kenneth Wilkinson. Good morning. Good to see you. So that's where we are. So I'm always thinking like, okay, what's something different that I can do? Now I know, like for me personally, my channel's a little bit weirder than not weirder, but it's a little more unusual than other people's. But I definitely think that there's is like people just like to see like what's familiar and like I said, I think people like to learn things. I really do. I really think people are curious to learn something new or to find a different way to do something. So the knitting is great. So that's going to be awesome when you start showing off your skills and everything. And then the voice at man, oh, and architect saying you bring it every day. I try. It's hard. So I'll tell you. So the story of my channel is, um, I was watching a lot of creators. So what I did, so this is the thing, and I kind of went down. I went back. So I was watching big creators in the beginning that were like fire. They were doing all kinds of stuff. And then I said, let me check out some of these small creators. And so here's the thing. So I will say that the smaller creators, it was kind of cool to kind of get to know them a little bit, get to know them. But I did notice that the smaller creators sort of hit a wall. Like they just didn't have it in them. Like they just couldn't keep the stuff going. And then that was my thing. I said, geez, I know I'm not a social media hound, but I said, I know I can do some stuff. So I said, I'm just going to try it out and see what happens. And so I've been somewhat successful. I mean, I'm not knocking the world down, but it's going. And but I did notice that, like, unfortunately, like there's a lot of celebrities on social media, and they're the ones making the big money because they're getting crazy views. And that's in a way it's kind of tragic because they're already wealthy and they're not really teaching anybody anything. I think most of the time they're just being celebrities. And see, for me, it's pretty hollow. Like it does nothing for me. But I don't know. It's really interesting. Yes. Yes, seeing something done well makes it easier for people to like myself. Yeah, that's what Darker Tech is saying. Yep. And then Renee's trying to go to Scotland, which is pretty cool. She said it's not for me, not to impress anyone. I mean, it's for me, not to impress anyone else. Explore who I am on my journey to Scotland. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. And then Sonia saying, yes, I agree. People learn new things. I watched a lot of videos and how to hem the bottom of my jeans. Yeah, that's a big one for me, being a shrimp. And I learned how to do it in all my jeans, and you did it in one day. Wow, that's pretty good. And you also bought yourself a sewing machine. See, I think that's amazing. Yeah. Sewing is great. I think so. Here's the reason why. And the reason why I love sewing is the clothes are terrible that are made today. They're really not made well. And I look at most people walking down the street and I realize that their clothes don't fit at all. Like, and I had a friend of mine whose father was a tailor. She used to yell at me. She was a coworker because I'm a shrimp, right? So I'm buying off the rack. And, when you wear a jacket, those arms would be really long. And I would sort of fold them under, but, that's not good. Like I could do better. I should have gotten them altered. I did alter some of my stuff, but, after a while, it gets pretty expensive and everything. And, but I'll tell you what, if I had learned how to sew, I would have altered those jackets and stuff. And you do look better when things fit you. And I swear, I would love to like pull over so many people on the street. Remember Glamour magazine back in the day when they had the "Don't do this" pictures in the back? I thought that was fire because people would wear the wrong clothes, the wrong size. Everybody thinks, "Oh, I'm a size 2." No, you're not. Yeah, I wear a size 5.5 shoe. No, you don't. You're gonna mess up your body. Your feet are all messed up in these bad shoes. And that's the other thing. It's like quality. You know what I mean? Like you can actually come out and make some quality stuff that actually fits you. And I'm like, I feel very strongly about this, as you can tell. Okay. Yeah, but good for you, Sonia, with the sewing machine and hashtag VOM is saying, yes, that's what I say. My channel's more laid back, but growing. Yeah, that's good. I'm not about to change to please people. Success is being yourself. Ooh, that's fire right there. You have celebrities that don't get validation. You have several, oh, that don't get validation that they deserve, but they still keep pushing. Oh, that is true. But see, but here's the thing. So I read, and I don't know if it's still the case, but like I'll just give you an example. So on Instagram, I heard Selena Gomez is one of the highest viewed people on Instagram, or was a couple years ago. And I said, yeah, but like the girls everywhere, you know what I mean? Like to me, her being on Instagram is not, it's not like, I mean, she's getting money out of the deal, but I'm saying like, what is she doing? Like she doesn't have to be on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think it's interesting, right? And like is it helping her career? I don't know. I mean, is it? I don't know. Just wonder. But yes, but success is being yourself. And that's a huge thing because I think a lot of people aren't. Let's just say that. All right. So then Renee said, I've known a lot of very successful entrepreneurs. Nice. Money was not their motivation, it was a product. Yeah. Okay. It was a byproduct. Oh, the money came as a byproduct of just whatever they were doing. So they liked what they were doing. That's pretty cool. And then Suzanne is saying people need to remember that they can't be and do everything, right? And focus on their strengths and let the weaknesses be. Yes. So that's kind of funny. Yes. But I love it. I just think it's amazing. Yeah. Let's see. Yes. Bam. But there we go. Yeah, so that's the key thing. You know, it's really important that that you have to be yourself. And it's hard because, like I said for me, like my family, it's weird. Like we have like a love-hate relationship. Like I'm not saying they love me, but I'm not sure if they like me. Like it's kind of interesting, you know? So I always had to like cheerlead for myself, you know what I mean? In many ways. And so that was the deal. Like I always had to do it. And that's I think a lot of people have difficulty with that. And like whether you like what I do or love what I do, I mean I'm going to be okay, either way. And but it's it is what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's just interesting, that like I said, that celebrities are making all the money on social media, and they don't really need it. I mean, a lot of them, especially the ones that are up, pretty up high. They don't need it. But it's interesting. But like I said, for me, this is sort of a little bit of it's a creative outlet. I make a couple of pennies at the end of the month, and so I think I'm winning, but I don't know. You know, it's very interesting, right? Yeah. Oh, hey, little Sparky, what's up? Yeah, so that's kind of the deal today, and that's where I just wanted to make sure, that like I said, we're ending the year. Think about where you want to be, shortly, and like I said, we do this every week. When I can get myself together, and like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we do a little cooking, and I'm gonna do, a little more of that coming in the new year. Oh, but I have this really tragic story I heard this morning. I'm dying. Um, oh, there's Miss Ashley. Hey, she's saying good morning. Been a member for 31 months. What? All right, we got to sing a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay. Keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me for sure. That's what friends are for. And thank you, Miss Ashley. Yay! That's exciting. And I got something for you too. I got something for you. Okay. And then there's Miss LaBelle. Hello. Well, I remember when you first started with just over 1,000. Yeah, that's been a minute, right? So I started in 2022, I think. Yes. I think it was 2022. See, I'm starting, it's getting fuzzy. Yeah. Yes, keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, Samoan Watchman. Yeah, those pennies add up. Yeah, they do. Yeah, so the thing about it is, oh, see you later, Miss Sonia. Yeah, have a good day at work. Yeah, so the whole thing is, it can be a little bit of an earnings, and there's people that get huge, memberships, and that's really kind of where things happen for a lot of people. And oh, okay. Oh, you have to renew. Okay, no problem. No problem. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support on the channel. I just want to make sure, that I say that. I keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying it because it's not unnoticed. And I have about 5 packages to mail out, so it's going to be gone in a minute. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. And that's kind of what I'm doing, kind of with the members and stuff, and people who have been really supportive of the channel. Yeah. But what's funny? Like I said, I think like a lot of times the credit cards, or whatever, the debit cards, like even my stupid bank. One time I had like $500 in my account, and I went to swipe and do a purchase, and they said, and they denied it. It was a purchase for like, it was like for like $10. And so I called my bank and I'm like, dudes, there's at least $500 in there. What's going on? And they were like, oh, you wanted that? And I'm like, seriously? Like, I don't do a lot of transactions, on my business account. But I said, $10? Come on. I had $500 in there at one point, and they're like, and I was just like, I wanted to strangle them. And then you look like an idiot in front of all these people. Sorry, it's a little bit of a rant. Um, but yeah, there's that. Oh, there's Miss Sonia came back. All right, let's see. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's YouTube. Everything works. They feel a strange need to fix it. Yeah, that is interesting about YouTube. But I remember, like I said, my stupid business account, they were like beating me up over this little bit of money, and I'm going, come on. But anyway, there's that. So, but anyway, hopefully what I said made a little bit of sense today. And I was sort of thinking about it, and I said, it's really kind of interesting how life, like how life is, and that you just have to find ways to keep going. And that's the other thing, Miss Sonia, with the YouTube. You got to keep going if you want to sort of see where you can take it. Now, um, I've heard other people say that they just start new channels if they don't take off right away. And I don't know if that's good or not, but maybe it is. I don't know. But I know people who've done that many times, and they just go, "Yeah, it's not working. Let's do something else." And so there's that. But like I said, I think I don't know. And then I heard like Facebook does weird stuff with monetization. I don't know. I don't have enough. I don't even go on there enough to even do anything. And I will never get the followers and do all that stuff they want you to do. So I don't know. It's really weird. Um, but I've been sort of like hiding. I've been sort of hiding from like my hometown on Facebook. Like they're on there. They're really nice people, but some days I'm just like, I'm good. I feel like I don't want to go back. And I think that's what it is for me. That's what Facebook reminds me of. It's sort of like going back, to people. Like I said, it's really weird. I haven't lived in my hometown in quite some time, so it's a strange going back. There's all these weird emotions and stuff. Oh, what was the tragic story? No, I was just saying that let's see. Oh, hey, Diamond Ring Girl, good to see you. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, about the yeah. So I don't know, like it's weird with these debit cards and credit cards from the banks. So I had this so I had my business account. I had a few $100s in there, and they denied a $10 charge. And so you're in the store, and then everyone's like, they give you that look like you are garbage because you don't have $10. I'm like, I totally had $10. And then I called them and they said, oh, you wanted that charge? And I was like, $10. You're gonna question a $10 charge when there's like way more than that in the bank. Yeah, that was the tragic story. So I was just like, I wanted to kill them. And then they got like they started get like my bank started getting weird. So I'm looking for a new business bank. So we'll see what happens. But let's see. But yeah, that's the story. And then LaBelle said, hiding from my hometown, my home village where I was born, had to make a way for a motorway extension. It wasn't very big, only 300 people. Wow. I would have been so mad, Sonia. Yeah. Let me see. What did Sonia say? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, here we go. Yes. That happened to me when I was buying gift cards this weekend. And there was a guy that pulled out his badge saying he was an officer and that I was committing fraud. And I was like, hell no. Right. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yes. And then LaBelle said, this is so weird, isn't it? Um, Remember people looking, got no cash when using a card. And today, if you use cash, got no card. It's totally reversed. It is. Yeah. And the thing was at the time, like I said, I was trying to it was a business expense. And so I was trying to, not commingle the business and the personal. So so yeah, I had $10, but I didn't but since they denied the card, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's just crazy." And it's a card I think I've used maybe 15 times, 20 times in the light, and I've had it for 3 years now. So anyway, it's really weird that they're starting to do this weird fraud stuff. And sometimes I think to the detriment of people who are being honest. And that's why, I was kind of like, rah, Yep. Yeah, and then Renee said she would have been mad. Yeah, that's crazy. But that's the weirdest thing. It's like the honest people get in trouble and then the cheaters get by. So it's weird. But anyway, so in any plans that anybody has for the new year before I wrap it up? But that's kind of where we are right now. Like I said, we're like you use your creativity. I think that's YouTube. Darkitect's very creative. Hashtag VOM is herself. She's definitely herself. She just talks about like what's on her mind. That's her channel. Renee's creative. She's working on that knitting. And I'm trying to step up my game a little bit too. You know, so I'm going through I'm checking the lists. Of all the items that I want to make, which I thought was cool. So we're doing that. But I don't know. So 2026 is going to be interesting. But like I said, Sonia, definitely, just do a little bit every day. And what you can do is, record some videos and then just upload them. A little here, a little there, and then you see how they do. Yeah. But I know you've got some pretty good views on some videos you've done. I've seen. Yes. Oh, okay. Wait, bank fraud. Hold on, Suzanne. I like bank fraud protection, but if the institution is FDIC insured, then you're okay. Right. See, that's the whole reason. But for me, it's like $10 is kind of like you're being a little extra if you're worried about $10. Now, if I came in there and said, here's a $10,000 charge, that's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Renee said, I'm married to a finance guy. He wants everything on a card to analyze the data. Yeah. See, and that's the positive part of doing it, because you will have a nice receipt or a nice ledger, at the end of the month. I think that is a good thing. And especially during the holidays. Oh, let me tell you. So I've heard, if you're shopping out there, make sure you use a credit card. Do not use your debit card. And I don't remember the actual dollar values, but if you use a credit card, any amount that may be done in fraud will be immediately returned back to you. But if you use a debit card, that's your actual cash. And I think you're responsible for the first 500. It used to be 50, but I think it's $300 or $500 of the fraud. And that's why you don't want to use credit card. I mean, you don't want to use debit card out there. You want to use credit card. So make sure you do that if you're out there shopping. Okay. And online too. Never use debit. Okay. And LaBelle said, Sonia, that is because there's so much fraud going on with these gift cards. Yes. I dread every time I get a gift card of somebody. I usually don't use them. See, I know. And okay. And poor Diamond Ring Girl said she's fighting a cough. So if I can be better, I'm going to my doctor's today. Okay, good, 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 good. I hope you feel better. Yeah, I mean, I finally kicked this. I had a cough for a very long time, and oh my gosh, like it was just brutal. I don't know where it came from. It was just one of these random colds. I just couldn't kick it. And then LaBelle saying, Give him an old ledger, Renee, a nice spreadsheet at the end of the year balance for Christmas. And then Suzanne says, showing success not using a debit card to prevent your account from being drained by fraud. Yeah. And that happened to my sister years ago when they first came out. Yeah. And she had a debit card because that's what they gave her for her business account. And some idiot went in there, not idiot, but some guy, person, drained about $5,000 in like a couple days. And if you're not keeping an eye on this stuff, that's what happens. And Ashley said, yeah, before the new year, trying to finish this scrap blanket. It must be big. Must be big. In 2006, 2000, oh my gosh, I can't read. 2026 is going to be awesome. Yes, I think so too. Like 2025 kind of ended weird. Really weird. Didn't you think? Yeah. Lots of new projects. Yeah. Yeah. Simone Watchman's been working. See, he's creative too. He's been working it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate creative people. I will tell you, I have no problems, cheerleading people who like do stuff. I love it. Yes. He's doing that woodworking. So thumbs up to that. That's good. And then let's see. LaBelle said, I've done another one of those beautiful doilies. Nice. Table runners from Maggie Lopez. Amazing tutorials. Nice. And oh, Renee saying her husband would melt down with Excel. I think Excel is very clunky. And I understand his frustration because I feel the same way. I had to work with that for like the last few years and I wanted to see this choke out the Excel people. But anyway, Sonia said, I was using a credit card and I was purchasing 10 gift cards. Oh, you were at Dollar Tree. See, that's crazy. Yeah. And after the fourth or fifth the credit card said it was fraud. Oh, I see. Yeah. So there has been a lot of fraud. And so and you did 10. Oh, okay. So that was probably the number of cards. Yeah, people freak out. And I'll tell you like a weird story real quick. And LaBelle said, Renee Unravel, I started studying economics and that included bookkeeping. The first thing we learned was to cheat, as our job would have been to find out discrepancies. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, so the debit card. So this is what happened. I remember on we were looking for a car, and I think my husband got on Facebook, and this person said they had whatever the car was, whatever the year was, and they said pay us with a gift card, and we were like, because didn't know, and no, we didn't do it. But I just went, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? That they would have just taken the money and dipped because I don't think there was a car, and we were gonna try to meet up with them, but it never happened because they didn't. There was probably not a car, but they wanted a gift card for the payment, for the down payment, and we were like, nope, yes. And there's okay, lady 4775. Yeah, that's good to see you. That's Aisha. Good to see you. Welcome in. Okay, and then okay, Renee's saying fraud protection is good, but it always seemed to happen when I'm far from home, which can be really bad. Right? Yes, that's for sure. That does happen overseas. Like a lot of times, if you go overseas, like you almost have to call your bank and say, "Look, you little people, I'm going overseas. Don't play with me." Okay, I did that when I went overseas years ago. Yeah, I did that. And then Renee said, "That's good, LaBelle." Yeah, yeah. Let's see. LaBelle said, "Yep, started." It's right, the economics. Yep, and don't buy expensive things on Facebook. Yeah, that's for sure. And this was early in the Facebook situation, so we weren't really. And like I said, I was not on Facebook at the time. And but here's the funny thing. But we did find a car on eBay of all places. Yeah, no, eBay of course has the fraud protection and all that. But we met up with a guy. This guy had a car. He was only about 12 miles away. And this car was amazing. And we bought it. It was a reasonable price. He sold it to us a little undervalued and all that. And it ran for a long time. That was a great car. But that was the best online purchase I think I've ever made was that car. Yeah. And it was a minivan. So that, it was hot. Yes, and Facebook is loaded with scammers, and so is Instagram too. Yep, yep. And that, Yeah, I used to say, yes, the Facebook marketplace is not good. And like I said, this was early in the Facebook days, and I was not on it. So I had no idea like what was happening. You know what I mean? So, but now, of course, no, it's been so many years later. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, Etsy's bad too? I thought Etsy was kind of fancy. No, it's not. Okay, good to know. Oh no. I had no idea. So Renee said, "Oh well, that's a bummer." So I thought there was like, I guess you are almost forced to buy like from real companies, which is terrible because like little small people could use the business too. But anyway, Renee's saying, yeah, call to the credit card company. I'm going to Scotland and buying a lot of yarn. Leave me alone. That's what I did. I said, listen, I'm going out of the country. Gonna be gone for 6 weeks. Don't play with me. I was like, you're gonna see charges. So leave me alone. And I did that too. But yeah, okay, so see, yeah, you learn some stuff. But like I said, at the time, I was completely clueless. Because, like I said, I started a Facebook account like recently. I'm like late. Like, see, that's the whole thing. I'm late to all those things. When people do all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then like 10 years later, and I never even put anything on Facebook, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, yeah, so that's part of my issue as well. But I love it. So like stay away from scammers. Yeah, use credit, use credit card, and at least you can get that money back right away. But my sister, I think when she got hit with the debit card, they only charged her like $50. So she lost the first $50 and she got the rest back. But they were slow. And this was back when debit cards first came out. So it had to be hmm 93, 4, 5. I don't know, somewhere in that time. Yeah, and she was like, and they were slow about giving her the money back. And I remember saying this, hey, come on. Like you see all this money, because having a business, the money comes in, it goes out, it goes, there's a lot of ins and outs and stuff. So anyway. Yeah, and you feel so embarrassed, right, Sonia? I got you. And you're pissed off. I get it. Cause then they think you're like a scumbag. And you're not. Like you're just chilling. Oh, you're sending me a picture. Okay. Ooh, let me see if I can get it. Okay. I feel so embarrassed. Yes. And the precious metal and gem stuff on Etsy is supposed to be real bad. Oh, I believe that. Yeah. I think precious metals are tricky. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. Yeah. And we're laughing at Renee. Let me see. Yeah, but the thing that's really interesting is um the let me see. Did it come in yet? Mm. Not yet. Oh, let me see. I have to do it this way. Yep. Oh, let me see if I'm gonna have to do another thingy here. Hold on. But anyway, the thing that was so funny was yeah, like these people always there it is. I have to do it this way. I've got so many devices open, it's not even funny. Here we go. Come on. Ah, oh, this is good. Check this out. Ooh, Ashley. Girl, that looks nice. Is that mine? I may have to go yoink. No, that's pretty cool. Very nice. Okay. I see you. Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. All right now. And you're holding two together, I think. And she's doing the double strand. Let me see if I can get a little closer. Oh, there we go. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Ooh. All right now. I see you. I love it. That is awesome. All right. And I don't know if anybody is over on Instagram. Let's see. Like my video just did a thing. I said it's so sad when you try to do too much. There's too much going on here. Let's see here. Oh no, I think it died, which is good. Okay, that's awesome. Oh wow. Yeah, there's so many things. Oh, so anyway, this is the sad story. Oh, this is the last story I'm going to tell you. I saw this thing. All right, so I don't know if you guys are into vintage. So I like vintage stuff. And I've been looking. So Facebook Marketplace has 3 stoves. I really want to get one, but I don't know. I'm on the edge. Like I don't know. Cause I have this stove right now. My stove is like doing all kinds of weird stuff. and it's not dying, but it probably, I don't know. Like we've had it. We bought it in 2006, so it's 10. It's getting there. And I've been looking at these vintage stoves because the vintage stoves have cabinets and double ovens and all this stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, I really want to get one." Well, anyway, there's a girl on Instagram, and I guess she's on YouTube too, that had this fancy stove from the 40s or the 50s. It was gorgeous, and it had all this stuff on it. And she's going through a divorce, and her husband stole her stove and put a modern one in place of where it was. She does like vintage stuff. And I was like, and she posted it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is me. But anyway, I'm going to take a sip. Just meditate on that for a minute. Hmm. Yeah. So I'm like sweating it out for her. I hope she gets her stove back. Let's see. Beautiful blanket. Everybody loves it. Oh, that looks great. Love the colors. Yep, pretty. And Susan Vincent said she's a member of credit unions. They refund and investigate fraudulent charges immediately. They do. And thanks. Everybody's saying using scrap. Nice. My mother has an antique chamber stove. Those are nice. Is he still alive? Right. I mean, I'm so mad for her. I want to go get him. And it's gorgeous. I mean, it is a nice stove. And yeah. And he's being not so nice. But I just went, oh, gosh. People are mean. Why? And I'm doing the why. You don't have to. Just move on. Okay. Yes. I was thinking the same thing, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not a mobster, but I'll tell you what, I would turn into one if my husband ever did that. For real. Yeah, he knows. But anyway, yeah, I'm very traumatized right now. And the thing is, like, the woman's got a pretty big channel, on all the platforms and stuff, and she's really worked hard, and her husband's being, one of those. Okay. Yes, I love the aga, one of those everything burning things that are always warm. Nice. And okay, we got 755 media. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so my whole thing is I just feel really really sad that see, and I know that it has to be like a jealousy thing. And and like I said, people separate all the time, and so and divorce isn't easy. Like I said, I've not been through one myself in terms of myself, but I've been through ones with, family members and stuff. And it is kind of brutal. But, this woman has really worked hard and built her platform, and to really kind of sabotage that is tragic. Yeah. But that's yeah. So there's that. So you got to surround yourself. So once again, okay, here's my last thing. And I was thinking about this too, is you have to surround yourself. You have to make good choices. And that's everything in life, you know what I mean? And one of them is your spouse. Woo, child. Yes. You know what I mean? I don't know how you make a good choice. You try, but man, that's crazy. Yes. Oh. Okay. And happy holidays to 755. Yes. Oh, you mean to say her husband thought it was great to think? Yeah, that's terrible. Yes. And then Renee said those Aga cookers last forever. Yeah, I love all of those stoves. They're amazing. And we I always lived in a small house that had a really tiny kitchen. It was probably 6 by 6 or 7 by 7, very small. So we never had room for that kind of a stove, but I always thought those were great. And I would see them in houses and just kind of, covet their cookery and their stoves. So, when I saw that, and I remember seeing her stove and going, "Girl, that's a piece of equipment." You know. And for back in the day, I wonder what those things cost. They had to be pretty pricey. Yes. And uh-oh. There's Barry. Welcome in Storms Radios. And Susan's got to pick up her order. Thanks for coming in. Completely got to run. Happy holidays. Yeah, happy holidays to you. Thank you so much for coming in. And unfortunately, dirty laundry sells in all media spaces. Yeah. See, but I understand her frustration because this poor, like I said, she's earning. So I think that like as you know, the earning the income. I guess she's earning a pretty good income, and that's a good way to kick her in the butt. Which I think is terrible. Because I don't know. It's tragic. But I'm just hoping that we can all do better in 2026. Oh, and then LaBelle, I want to tell one last story, and I forgot to say this during that the thing about Centralia, okay? Because you asked that question right at the end. Yeah, Happy Christmas, Susan Vincent. Yeah, that's what LaBelle's saying. And I wish I could afford Bertazzoni. I have to see what that is. Renee's saying yes. So anyway, but the whole thing with the Centralia is because it's burning, there's noxious gases coming out of the ground because it's coal, right? Burning from underground. And so it's really so the road there, because it's so hot underneath, the road buckled and they had to reroute the little town's main road, away from the area. So there's two things that's happening there. So the road was buckling. So there was like almost like volcano, like volcanic rock. Kind of the road was splitting and kind of opening up like that. So they had to close the road down. That's the first thing. And then number one was the noxious gases. So when you go there, you're really taking a risk of breathing in that and ruining your lungs. So that's why it's a little bit hairy going over there. But now we did it by car, and you can sort of see in the one direction. You can sort of see a little bit of what's left of the town by car. But I never got out because I have asthma and I have bad lungs, so I never got out. But I said, "Oh man, this is crazy." And the thing that was funny was the woman who told me about it was a client secretary. And she said, "Yeah, you gotta go drive by. It's kind of funny, or not funny, but interesting." Yeah. So anyway, that's the last little thing I wanted to say. So if anybody has the impetus to go up there, I would say don't do it because of the safety aspect, and that's the one thing I didn't get a chance to say because it is dangerous, And they did some weird stuff to kind of hide the access to the area because people were up there exploring, and there were a lot of YouTubers that are up there creeping and stuff and other platforms, but you just have to really be careful. But it's really tragic, that's like it's funny. Once again, it comes down to one decision can really alter your life in a positive way or a negative way. And they blew up that town, and that town is they said there's supposedly 5 people there. I think they're crazy because I wouldn't want to breathe in any of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy. So there's that. I just wanted to make sure I tell you about that. Yeah. And hang on a second. I just lose my chat. Yes, I did. Hang on a second. There we go. That sounds wild. Yes. And don't they say it'll take hundreds of years until it's, yeah, that's correct. And I don't think anybody will be around when it stops. So it's been since 1962, and it's been burning since then. 1962. So I just wanted to throw that in there just so people don't just go, "Oh, let's go." No, don't go. Because you might give yourself some cancer. We don't want that. We can do without that. So people are strange in what piques their interest, right? Yeah, so it's hundreds of years, and it's very interesting. And they got rid of the zip code. So this is how the crazy thing: shut down the post office, got rid of the zip code. It's gone. Like it's essentially gone, wiped from the map. Yeah, and but it was a coal mining area, and that's the thing. Like Pennsylvania has a crazy amount of coal underneath. And in fact, oh, one last thing, and I do remember hearing people talking about this. They were saying that the state was so apparently in our real estate contracts, um, some people try to get the mineral rights, and so you have to make sure that you own the mineral rights to your house. And a lot of those people were concerned that the state was trying to take the mineral rights, i.e., the coal that was underneath. Now, honestly, if you're living in a house, you're not going to want to mine your house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, like the mineral right. I mean, I know why they're important, but I don't know why they're important. And so it's really crazy. But I remember reading some of these real estate contracts where they talk about the mineral rights, and I don't know if other states have them. Excuse me a second. Hmm. But yeah, it's crazy. And a lot of those people wanted to keep their houses because they were afraid the state was going to try to steal the mineral rights. But I said, how can they get in there if everything's on fire, right? That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Okay. Renee says, it does pique my interest. If that was to happen in the northeast of UK, LaBelle saying, half of the island would need evacuating. Right. Europeans are amazed at the sheer size of the United States. The United States is big. And Pennsylvania is 5.5, 6 hours east west, coast to coast. And it's north south, it's about 2.5 hours north south. And then you have to do it three different if you trisect the state, it's 2, 2, 2, 6, straight across. It's big. It's really big. Pennsylvania is huge. And it's almost like two countries. There's Pittsburgh, the country of Pittsburgh, and then there's a country of Philadelphia. And then Harrisburg, which is the capital in the middle. Yeah, it's crazy. And completely different situations happening in those areas. Yeah. Yeah. And let's see. I should have said, oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me see. I missed the thing here. Oh, LaBelle saying, Renee, if you hop in a car on continental Europe, you can cover a few countries in a day. Right. Each with their own language and culture. That's for sure. And then Renee said, I should have said, in what motivates them to go there. Was always interested in Chernobyl. You don't want to go there. But I have heard that those animals are snapping back, and the insects and stuff, which is weird. Yeah. And then LaBelle saying, Renee, probably because it's dystopian and you can visit Chernobyl for about a half an hour only, though. Yeah, see, that's scary. Okay. And Min is from Texas. Texas is big. Yeah. It's a big state. Welcome in. And then LaBelle saying, Renee, and as far as I know, they are still running the reactors next to it. See, that's crazy. Let's see. And then, okay. Oh, Renee was in Japan during Chernobyl. Oh, okay. It was scary. Yeah, pretty close. That's not far. Yeah, that's crazy. And then, yeah, so that's insane. But the whole thing is, like I said, Centralia is crazy. So look it up. So it's the word central with an IA at the end, and that's the name of the city. Central with an IA at the end, Centralia. And yeah, coal mining, and like I said, there's a lot of coal. There's a lot of resources in Pennsylvania, natural resources like natural gas, coal, and even regular oil. They found oil in Pennsylvania back in the 1800s. I think it's probably mined out, but so there's a lot going on underground. So I don't want to mess under there. Yeah, let's see. Samoan Watchman says, "Call Cali is its own country." That's right, and California's big too, right? Trust me, I know about that 6.5 hour drive going to Maryland in April. Yeah, I told you, Pennsylvania's big. Yeah, that's what Ashley's saying. And then LaBelle said, I once read up on Earth's population and found out that you could stick an entire population of our planet into Texas. That's funny. And each would still have some space around them. That's crazy. Alaska is bigger than, let's see. That's what Renee's saying. But yeah, it's insane. But it's so big and it's hard to see. Like I said, versus like Suzanne, like New Jersey. I used to work in New Jersey and I could loop that whole state in a day and see about 50 people when I was in sales. I could do it. Yeah, it was real easy. Yeah. And then Min is saying, LaBelle, yes, East Texas alone has 5 distinct areas. Wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, like, United States is big, and it does take time to see it all, and I would say anybody, if you have time and money and whatever, try to go see like a lot of the I would say don't always go see the national monuments and things like that, but I think it's good to see those kind of things, kind of because it kind of puts everything in perspective. But try to go to each state and see the thing that makes the state unusual. Yeah, yeah. So let me see. Okay. Oh well. Okay. Oh, Alaska is bigger. Yeah. See, and I've never been to Alaska. That's the one state I have not been to. So that's, eventually that's on the list. But I think if I were to do it, I would probably cruise it just to not have to, fly in or whatever. But yeah, that's really cool. But I've been to most of them. I'm trying to think. There's only a few that I haven't seen, but Alaska's one of them. And but I've been to Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Straight down the East Coast. I've seen all of those states, at least a little bit, and then out west, California, Nevada, Arizona, and some others. Washington State, Oregon, Idaho. I've even been to Idaho. Wow, it's crazy. Not been to Iowa, but I've been to Idaho and some stuff like that. But there it is. All right, now. So that's it. So, like I said, 2026 is coming. It's going to be a great year. Samoan Watchman said it's going to be positive. He's got some stuff going. Make sure you follow, and we'll check out his woodworking. And Renee's going to be knitting. I'm going to be dabbling like I always do. And I'm going to try to remain positive, and like I said, I really enjoy chatting with the people in the chat. And Sonia's working on her channel. We're gonna hold you to it, and hopefully Aisha too. She'll be doing more. And LaBelle's gonna be doing her thing. She's always working on something, which is cool. And hashtag VOM is working out. Life with the Sherry is working out, and just chilling. They're living their best lives, and that's, I guess that's like the thing. You got to live your best life, and I think that's gonna be the moment. I think that's where I'll end it. Live the best life. Be as positive as you can. You know, grow your own if you can. Cook your own food if you can. Oh, one last story. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna call out J3GS Farms. Um, he found some exotic protein in his fried chicken yesterday. I don't know where he got it from. He didn't say, but I'm saying cook at home. So you know what's going in your food, and try to be as nutritious as you can. And yeah, and I'm going to go back to that. But like I said, have a great holiday. I have a couple of videos coming. I don't know when I'm going to release them, and that's the whole thing. I'm just, I'm filming stuff, kind of working them a little bit, massaging them, and then I'm going to release some stuff. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'm going to do a little cooking, I think, before Christmas. So we'll see. And I guess that's it. So make sure you come back. We enjoy seeing you here. And yeah, that's the deal. That's the deal. Any final words? Let's see. Uh did I miss anything? I'm just checking the chat. I bet you haven't been to Arkansas. Yes, I was. Just for a minute. Just for a minute. Just passing through. See, that's the problem. I've passed through a lot of places. Yeah. Oh, and then LaBelle said, in case we don't, yeah, if we don't see each other before, Merry Christmas. As far as the next year, it could get a lot of work. No, LaBelle. Mm-mm-mm. Renee saying, I drove all over the country in my 20s. Yeah, I like it. And Renee saying, have a wonderful holiday. You too. And Life with Sherry is saying, take care, everyone. And LaBelle saying, I'm going to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation tonight. I have to see that again. It's been years since I've seen that. Oh, I've been watching bad Christmas movies on Prime. They're really bad, but they're pretty predictable. But I just sort of have them on the background while I'm working my thing. So there it is. All right. So, but yeah, but we'll see. I'll pop up again somewhere, somehow. All right. So peace and love. And here's Drew.